Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the Sylva Town Board of Commissioners meeting to order. And I will report that Commissioner Hamilton will be absent tonight. The first item on our agenda is to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion to do that?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Is there any discussion? Then Amanda, would you do our roll call?
David?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Thank you. Next is the approval of the consent agenda, which is in your packet. I assume you've all looked at that, and do I have a motion to approve that?
So moved. Sorry.
Thank you, David. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll ask Amanda to do the roll.
David?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Thank you. Now we'll move to public comments. I don't believe we have any public comment tonight. Hearing none, we will move on to our reports. For the mayor's report, I only want to thank our police department, Public Works for all their hard work over 4th of July weekend. And also thank the chamber for all the music and festivities, and include the county for all of the awesome fireworks. So thanks to all those people. And I personally want to add my welcome to Bernadette as the person helping us with the Main Street Sylva Association. Welcome. Clap, clap, yes. Next comes the commissioner's reports. David.
Thanks. And yeah, big welcome to Bern. We're all very excited to have you on board, and congratulations on the role. I'm going to miss our next meeting on the 22nd, which I'm really disappointed in because I think we're doing that one as our first meeting back in person. Is that correct? So yeah, I had planned on remoting into that. And so I didn't write to let people know I was going to be missing it. Yeah, I'll be out of town. We scheduled it last month, but then we decided to do that in person. So I won't be able to be there unless we have some way for me to call in and listen or something at least. But I know our setup isn't going to be ready yet. So I might just have to sit that one out. But are you still going to record it on YouTube so I can watch it, or?
I think that we're probably working on that, Amanda. We'll probably be able to at least do that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
That's good.
It would just be on my computer recording because we won't have any of the equipment, but we'll do our best.
Okay. Right. I did that training with the League of Municipalities, I think is who it was, for the ARP funds. And I'm still pretty confused on what we can and can't do specifically. But if other people are still a little confused, that Treasury Department interim final rule document is very helpful. Long, but it does a pretty good job of summarizing. The only other update is I did email the county about potentially using some of their property for housing opportunities that they own in city limits. I've only heard back from one commissioner who seems open to the idea. So I'll let y'all know when I hear more. And Paige, I'll forward you that email too, so you're in the loop on it. But essentially just proposed that, gave them 4 PIN numbers of potential spots, and proposed that we partner with them on abating and getting these into the hands of someone who could do something good for alleviating our housing crisis. And told them I would set up a meeting with us and them and Smoky Mountain Housing Partnership. So that's all I got.
Thank you, David. Greg.
Not much of a report tonight, but welcome, Bern. It's good to have you. And thanks, David, for all your help on that, on the housing project. Those are really good ideas.
All right, thank you, Greg. Mary?
I just want to echo all of you. I'm so happy to have you here, Bern.
Ben?
Hey, good evening. Yeah, Bernadette, welcome, welcome. It's awesome that you're going to be with us. So I just wanted a couple things. Just want to clarify something I said last meeting. With COVID cases, I said they were 100% preventable. The COVID cases are 95% preventable, given the effectiveness of the vaccines. But COVID deaths are 100% preventable if you've been vaccinated. I wanted to, on the trails project, just to update there, the tribe is kind of starting to move forward on their own. They've got their approval from Land and Water for the Shut-in Creek parcel, and they're going to be looking for bids for master plans. We're still kind of a little bit behind there. I'm going to be meeting tomorrow with Joey Owl and hopefully kind of getting us back involved in that, so they're not just developing the trails system on their own up there without us. And let's see, I did my ride along with Sylva PD last week, which is great, very interesting. It's great to see how things work. Got to arrest someone. I got to see the jail, I was very impressed with Sylva PD, their professionalism, how they're doing their job, and just another reminder that it's important that there's a professional culture there, and that Sylva PD is supported in order to maintain that, because given that the officers have so much leeway in what they charge people with, if you don't have good officers and if you don't have a good set up there, things could go south pretty quickly. It was just a reminder for me that it's really important for us to have a good department and quality folks there and maintain people there, like any department, whether it's public works or whatever. Of course, big picture things I was reminded of that, and this, it was being on the ride around that just reinforced it. It had really nothing to do with Sylva PD, but the fact that in this country we treat drug addiction as a crime rather than as a public health issue. 80% of the things that Sylva PD is responding to are drug related, and they're just not. The law enforcement is not who should be taking care of drug addiction. Unfortunately, it falls in their lap because nobody else is doing it, because no one's putting the resources to it. So it's going to be something that we have very little control about, but I really want to work with Chief Hatton, and I think he's very open to it, to train the officers to be able to get folks to help, and also to have on a county level, on a larger level than Sylva PD, have that place where the officers can take folks or get folks hooked up with treatment. So yeah, it's the whole criminal justice system is pretty overwhelming, and it's pretty terrifying in a lot of ways. Also, the way that the criminal justice system takes people that are, in a bad way and keeps pulling them back in, whether it's warrants for not failure to show up in court because of drug paraphernalia, and then they're just back in the cycle. So these are all issues that Town of Sylva cannot solve, but I look forward to working with Chief Hatton to find ways that we can do things to help folks rather than just putting them in jail. But that's the job that we've asked law enforcement to do right now, is to arrest people that have warrants, to pull people over that aren't complying with traffic laws, and they're doing a good job of it. They're doing exactly what we're asking them to do. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Ben. Manager's report page.
Yes, good evening. We're thrilled to have Bernadette welcome. We're so excited to have you in this role, and I know what a great job you're going to do based off of how you are as a person and involved in the community and how you've been on the Main Street Board in the past. So we are very excited. And Bernadette is going to work, she's planning to work Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, but have office hours Tuesday, Thursday from 9 to noon. The NCCCMA City County Managers Conference was really good. I got some great information on the ARP funds, planning for capital assets, and the keynote speaker was on the changing workforce after COVID, which was really helpful. And it was so nice to be in person with managers from across the state. But the main message with the ARP funds, and for those of you that listened to the league thing was, or their webinar was to hold off to get a better idea of potential opportunities and uses in the coming month and see how we can leverage the funds with what's coming down from the state level and also working with surrounding communities in our region. So it sounds like we just need to wait for additional guidance still. And I'm looking forward to meeting in person on July the 22nd. That's all I have.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I forgot to mention something. I will not. I have to work on the 22nd, so I too will not be at the meeting just because of this last minute change. I would have been able to Zoom in from work, but I cannot do that, so I will not be there on the 22nd.
Is there the possibility that we could have a live meeting and then also have Zoom going in the live meeting? You know, just like this, but be in the same room?
That's what we're trying to work on the system with. We'll see what we can do, but right now we don't have the capability.
Could we just meet on Zoom again on the 22nd?
If that's what a majority of you want to do.
I'm okay with that.
I'd rather have everybody be there.
Mhm.
Yeah, for the sake of cutting it close on even having a quorum, that might be good for the next one. Yeah, I apologize for that. I mean, I'll normally be able to make
It's
those.
happened to almost all of us, so that's fine.
Right. Yes, so August the 12th, we'll be back in person then.
That sounds good. We don't need a vote. It sounds like the majority that's fine with them and it's fine with me also. So thank you. Next, we will move to the fire department report. Mike Beck.
There we are. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, good evening, all. I'm going to start off by talking about the calls we've had. We've had 70 so far. We had 70 calls in June. We've had 336 so far this year, so it's been a fairly busy year. The 4th of July weekend was fairly quiet, which was a good thing. So we didn't have any kind of fires or anything. That was good. A couple little wrecks, but nothing mounted to much, and that's good. The other thing I was going to talk to y'all about, I want to invite y'all to the officer installation dinner that we didn't get to have last year. So we're going to have it this year. It's going to be Monday, July 19th at 7 o'clock here at the fire station. Y'all can make it. Like I say, last year we didn't get to have it. That's the first year I guess they missed that we've ever missed. But so we're going to resume this year and hope y'all can make it. And that's really all I was going to talk about tonight. If you got any questions or anything.
Anybody have questions of Mike?
Mike, I love going to that dinner. I've gone to it every year. You pick the one week I go out of town in an entire year to have it. So I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to miss it that Monday.
Well, we'll miss you, David. Sorry about that. I actually didn't pick it. The membership did. So,
I'll have to pick between my anniversary and the fire department. So
well, you could have your anniversary dinner at the fire department and it wouldn't cost you anything.
that sounds good. Thank you, Mike.
And thank y'all.
Next, we will move on to new business. first item on the agenda is the planning board appointment. Paige, can you just remind us?
Yes, Russ Harris and Dawn Gilchrist terms expire the end of August. Dawn does not want to be reappointed, but Russ does. If the board would like to reappoint him, I recommend only appointing that seat and leaving Dawn's vacancy until we get through this ordinance rewrite and revision process with Withers Ravenel, because I think we're too far into it to catch somebody up. And I think it wouldn't be fair to them to come in and be so behind and confused.
Thank you, Paige. What's the pleasure of the board on Russ's?
I would be happy to reappoint Russ Harris to the term on the planning board.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there discussion? Greg?
So with the other vacancy, is anybody interested in serving on that? Because if it was me, I would just kind of want to start.
We haven't opened it up yet.
Okay, then that's fine with me. Yeah.
But maybe we should go ahead and start putting the word out there that we're going to, I mean, it's 2 positions we're down now, right, that we're waiting on. So isn't that right? Wasn't there someone else who?
No, that's just this one.
Okay, maybe this had come up before. So yeah, go ahead and get the word out and start getting applications in if we want to wait still to put the person on.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I would go ahead and start with that, but I don't know. I just think somebody would want to be involved in the process at least, even if they're behind.
Any other discussion? So the motion is to reappoint Russ Harris. And we can add for Paige to go ahead and start asking for interested people for the other position. Is that what I heard?
Where they are in the ordinance rewrite and table of uses, you kind of need to come in with some background knowledge of the ordinances to be involved in the process at this point. That's why I was thinking December would be November, December, when we get to the end of this or get through the planning board's portion of it.
Thank you for clarifying that. So, but we are going to vote now on Russ's reappointment. Amanda, can you take the roll?
David,
Yes.
Greg,
Definitely, yes.
Mary,
Yes.
Ben,
Yes.
Thank you. That is approved. Will you let Russ know, Paige?
Yes.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is a Greening Up the Mountains update. Paige, if you will.
Yes. So Greening Up the Mountains is August the 26th. We are down on vendors this year. And I think that part of it is COVID, part of it, it conflicts with the Haywood County Fair. But we have about 35 vendors right now that have applied. And 35 arts and crafts, for beverage arts, and then 5 food vendors. So we can fit 48 spaces at Bridge Park and along Railroad Avenue. Kendra has extended the deadline till the 15th of July, but I think at this point we need to just have this Greening at the Mountains at Bridge Park. There'll be bands, food, art vendors, but on a smaller scale, and then pick it back up on Main Street and Mill Street, or Main Street in spring.
That sounds good to me. I'll ask other people for their opinions.
I think that's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I think that's a fine idea. Did we get an application for alcohol on Mill Street? Weren't we going to put one of the, beer blockades
It
On
was going to
Mill?
be in the grass area at Bridge Park.
Oh, okay. So perfect. So that's not interfered with. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense if we're only in the 30s for the number of vendors.
Mary, I'm sorry. Did you have comments?
No, I just think it's a great idea just to keep it at the Bridge Park. So I'd be happy to make that motion.
Do you anticipate any more vendors? I mean, it seems like, I mean, I guess the word has gone out to everybody that you normally would give it to, and
Yes. And I think a few more could trickle in, but I don't see us having the number of vendors to warrant closing the street.
And I will just say in other events that I've been part of, like when we did the hospital galas and when we did the Friends of the Arts, that's a very bad weekend. People are taking last minute vacations before school starts, or in our case, school may be started, but in most places it starts after Labor Day. So it's kind of a down weekend to have an event is what I think has happened. So any other discussions?
I'm just wondering if maybe that portion of Mill Street, where we've had the beer garden in the past, could be used and not Main Street. It seems like we need to spread out a little bit. It seems like with all the people that potentially would come, that's a pretty tight area for vendors, and I don't know.
The thing about Mill Street is that tractor trailers take Mill Street, and when they go through, the officers have to walk them. So if we use the area from the beer garden, I think we're going to run into some of the same problems that we run into for why we don't put vendors on Mill Street.
Okay, I mean, I'm fine with.
I think we can spread out on Railroad Avenue, though.
That killdeer doesn't come back.
Yeah, really. What if the killdeer comes back? He was here last year.
This time of the year.
That's true, right? They won't be nesting this time of year.
Let's not put that into the universe.
And I remember the Pottery Festival, they had a lot of booths, and that was the area that they did it on Railroad Avenue, and in the parking there at Bridge Park. It was full, but it was good. And a lot of people, I think, were in the space. So
what about Burn? Is that good?
I'm sorry, I had my mute on. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, because that'll save a lot, considering we're going to have a lot less revenue coming in from not having so many vendors.
You need a motion or anything, or just?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right. So thank you all for that discussion. Third item on our agenda is the resolution of acceptance of the American Rescue Plan funding. The revised one. Paige, would you clarify?
Yes, this is very similar to the resolution we did a couple of meetings ago. But when Lynn and I were watching the ARP thing the league did last week, we need to put in there that who's authorized to accept the funds. So it authorizes me to sign any documentation and accept the funds on the town's behalf.
Do I hear a motion to adopt this resolution?
I'll make a motion. We adopt the resolution of acceptance of American Rescue Plan funding.
Okay. Then any further discussion? All those in favor, Amanda, if you will, do the roll.
David?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Thank you, Amanda. That is approved. That is all our new business. Next item on our agenda is adjournment. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn so I can go to work.
Thank you, Ben. Any discussion? Then Amanda, please.
David?
Yep.
Greg?
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Ben?
Yes.
Thank you all. Good night.